There really, truly is a significant issue in this country with maternal fetal health, with women who are dying in pregnancies, that normally you hear these things more so from like third world countries, not something from the US. Why do you think that is?
Maternal mortality in the US is bad. In the South, we are right now, is bad compared to other states. We're at the bottom, we get an F, and it's been that way, which is horrible. We have access to information in a way that we did not before. So I don't believe that suddenly care for patients or suddenly these rates are bad. I think that we're in conversation more. Things are being publicized, and that's a great thing. It helps us as a country, as people in the healthcare field, really reflect on what needs to be done, what changes need to be made. When you look at the different reasons that this could be happening, systemic racism cannot be ignored. The way that training is done, the things we learn, some of the information that we have from the onset of care, Western medicine to now, that's really ingrained in there. Distrust between providers and patients is probably a huge issue. Access and socioeconomic status and all these things play a big role. And it's hard to really untangle. But I think it's an interesting conversation because it's beginning to help us to put a spotlight on it and hopefully make some changes. I also think it's really important to realize that it's not just maternal health. It's a very important topic, and especially when you're thinking about two people, babies, women, to vulnerable populations. But you can see some of these same disparities when you look at who's coming to the ER, who's listening to pain of one group of people versus another, how we manage things like kidney disease and what those rates look like. So I think it's really pervasive in many aspects of medicine. It's something that we all need to look at. So for somebody like me, who is a mom, who has been pregnant, who is a caretaker for pregnant people, family members who are cared for and have witnessed it on all sides, I always think about what can I do differently? What can we all do? And I think some of the basics that I mentioned before are just the beginning, because it can feel very overwhelming. Like, how can we solve this crisis? I think working to build communication amongst all parties. So how we communicate with our patients, making sure we're encouraging advocacy and a multidisciplinary approach where we encourage doulas, we encourage working with high-risk physicians if needed, talk to patients on how to let us know if there's any alarming signs and taking those signs seriously. Those are some little things that we can do individually. There's going to have to be some really massive changes in maybe how healthcare as a whole is done when it comes to taking care of pregnant women, monitoring for the places that we fall through the cracks. And that is super overwhelming to think of.
Well, yeah. And I mean, and it can't just be done with one person. It literally, as you said, this is all systemic. It has to be an issue, literally starts at the top and works its way down. You know, I had read a study a couple years ago, I can't remember how many counties in the state of Georgia. Out of those counties, 40 or 50 or 60 of those counties didn't even have an OBGYN.
Oh my gosh, there are these huge deserts where there are no providers.
No providers. And then in some counties, like 15 counties, didn't even have a pediatrician.
Yes. Or not every hospital has a labor and delivery, has a NICU. These are real life situations. So we oftentimes know about where we live. You know, as somebody who's only lived in a metropolitan area, you have access to basically everything. But a quick drive, hour and a half from here, you may be in a space where you live there, but you don't know who's going to be at the hospital. Is there a blood bank there? Are there anesthesiologists in-house if you needed an emergency C-section, let alone an epidural? That's real. It is scary to know that our patients are in fear because of this. And I have absolutely seen a rise in the women who come in who were like, I'm scared to be pregnant. I'm not looking forward to this. And the anxiety levels are so high. But I also try to encourage people to know that like pregnancy is very beautiful. It's a very exciting time because it's usually a place of something coming, a place of hope. Majority of the time, it's going to be a positive experience. And so trying to reframe it for people to know, hey, we need to be prepared and look out for this and that to make sure that you're safe and healthy. But I hate to see that this is making people fearful to be pregnant. People don't want to be pregnant at all. If that was a choice, they may have wanted it in the past. Now they may change their mind because they think they may die. And it's something to be aware of, but there are so many beautiful experiences that people are going through and not everyone is going to be in that particular situation.